Ooh. Hi everyone. Well, let's dive right into Sir Robinson's speech. And I have to say that I liked it. It was definitely my favorite out of the bunch. His argument, schools are killing creativity, is something I can definitely see myself agreeing with, and he did bring up several good points. He uses several tools to show this. He uses stories like the little girl who could not pay attention. Turns out she wanted to be a dancer, or she learns best while moving. Personal experience, talking about his family in the school system, uses data. And all that really comes together, form different arguments to really support his thesis. He also uses humor a lot and just natural charisma. And the power of humor really cannot be underestimated. I mean, when he's using it, you want to like him. You want to listen to more about what he has to say. You want to agree with him. And at least I do. I certainly do want to hear more of his talks. The next speaker that we listened to was, and I apologize for what I'm about to do her name, was Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. We should all be feminists. And you can see right away that she makes her points very different from Sir Robert, because she is a feminist living feminist struggles in the modern world. Whereas Sir Robinson, he can certainly say that this is what the schools are doing to children, but he is not personally there, feeling his creativity be drained away. And what really made it an effective speech, I think, was how she defined a feminist, or how she went about defining it. She did not say right out what she thought a feminist was. She said that for the very end. A great majority of her speech was given to what a feminist isn't. A feminist is not a man-hating lesbian. A feminist is not a woman that can't find a good husband. It was not until the very end where she said a feminist is a man or a woman who believes that men and women should be equal. And I think that was a very good way to go about it. She also brought in men into the conversation about feminism, which is definitely an effective strategy. She also showed how modern gender roles in society hurt men, and how it would be beneficial for both men and women to move beyond these gender roles that society has set for us, and live in a world where men and women do have more equal footing. Next up is what are TED Talks? What purpose do they serve in our communities? And in short, I think TED Talks are a brilliant idea. They take experts in their fields, writers, researchers, give them 20, 30 minutes to talk about really whatever they want, usually their research, and then post it online for free for the world to see. And I would probably call TED Talks one of the greatest gifts mankind has given to itself, as it allows so many opportunities to expand your mind and hear from some of the most interesting people in the world and see and hear perspectives that you never before considered. So they definitely do a great service to the community. The next part of the speech is listening to 3 TED Talks and giving a commentary on them. The first one I watched was David Blaine, How I Held My Breath for 17 Minutes. And to be quite blunt about it, I found it boring. I did not like it, but I wanted to like it. It sounds incredibly interesting. I mean, this is a man pushing the very limits of human endurance. But in the end, it just was not effectively delivered. He gave the entire talk in a monotone, robotic voice. He tried jokes a few times, but they really fell flat and not many people laughed. And honestly, I could not see a purpose for it. It did not seem meant to be inspiring. It was not really a how-to on how to push your body to the limits. It did not seem to have a point to it. And that maybe makes me kind of sad that, but it just goes to show that no matter how interesting the subject is, if it's not delivered in an effective way, it will fall on deaf ears. The next talk I did, or watched, I should say, was Daphine Bavelier, Your Brain on Video Games. And I apologize, Daphine, for what I probably just did to your name. Her speech, the subject of her speech was talking about the positive effects playing video games can have on the brain. And I liked it for two main reasons. One, because it was a good and effective speech, and the other is because I am incredibly biased toward what she's saying. I am a video game player, and quite frankly, we do get a lot of bad press. And she did start out by really highlighting some of those. Video games are childish. Video games are a waste of time. You can be doing so many better things with your time. You can be reading Shakespeare or recording speeches. If you play them, you're an antisocial nerd. And personally, I've heard all of those. So how she starts out her speech was very effective. How she was trying to reach out to her audience by saying, take a look at this preconceived notion that you might have. Video games are childish. They're for children. Now here, look at the demographics of what the age group that people are playing them. The median age is currently 33, and research shows that the shift is only going to continue to grow older. So that is a very effective start. So it's kind of like her jumping off point. So then she can start talking about other research that might against video games, like video games are bad at your eyesight. Staring at a screen for too long will hurt your eyes. But she then showed research that showed that that's wrong. That playing video games like first-person shooters can actually improve your eyesight. And just going along like that, it was very effective, and I really do hope that she changed some minds that day. As I said before, I am incredibly biased for this subject, so that meant that I actually had to give it a lot more scrutiny. Just because I want to believe that what she's saying is true doesn't mean I should. So I really did have to take everything that I had to pull myself back and say, yeah, it's great that what she's saying, but is it actually true? Listen more carefully. And I did, and by the looks of it, it held up, so I'm really happy with that speech. The last speech I did was Pamela Meyer, How to Spot a Liar. And how am I going to approach this one is, I'll start by saying the method for which I prepared doing the speech. I watched the videos, taking very brief notes, and then I went for a walk, just to kind of set my thoughts in order, think about what I was going to say. And I did that. And it went great for the first four speeches. But when I got to this one, I couldn't remember it at all. So the only thing I did remember about it was that it was done by a woman, and I liked it. So, so when I got back home, I immediately looked. I found the title, Pamela Meyer, How to Spot a Liar, and watched a few clips. But it really didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. It was a good speech. I liked it, but it was utterly forgettable. So what I guess we have here is a failure to reach the audience. Now, whose fault is that? I mean, is it hers for not reaching out, reaching out and snagging my attention and giving me something really to remember? Is it my fault because this is the fifth speech I watched in a row, so maybe my attention was already going away somewhere? Think about what I was going to say, things like that. I don't really know, but at the end of the day, I would still say that it is unremarkable. Entertaining, but it ultimately went in one ear, not the other. And I would say that that's probably the most interesting thing I learned about this speech, or the speeches today. Pamela Meyer definitely gave, I'm going to compare her to David Blaines' speech, which I thought, as I said, was boring and not interesting, while Pamela Meyer's was better. The strange thing is that while hers was better, David Blaines was more memorable. And I'm really not sure what is more preferable to have in the speech-making world. Is it better to have a good speech that no one really takes home or really engraves in their mind, or a bad speech that people remember but don't remember it fondly? I really can't say. Well, that's all from me for now. See you next time.